What's going on, everybody? It's GAMEUNBOXINGREVIEWS here, and welcome back to another LEGO DC Supervillains video. So in today's video, I'm of course going to be showing you guys how to make a Negative Man from the DC Universe Doom Patrol series using the in-game customizer. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so to start off with, we're of course going to head into Appearance, Head, Head, and then Head again, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find Custom Head 36, and of course this color right here. Then once you've done that, you're going to back out of there, go into Wrinkle Decal color, and you just want to go ahead and choose this color. Now then, for the accessories, personally I think the cool sunglasses fit Negative Man the best. Now then, onto the body. So for the body, we're going to go for preset body, and you're going to scroll all the way to the very bottom until you find Vandal Savage's body in dark brown. And obviously Vandal Savage is a character that is included in the TV Supervillains pack, so you will need that DLC if you want to be able to make my custom version of Negative Man in this game. Next up, of course, we're going to move on into the arms, and you can, if you want to, choose blank dark brown arms. It's just personally I like to add a little bit more detail, so what I'm going to do is choose Bronze Tiger's arms in dark brown. Nice. Now then, onto the hands. So for both hands, we're going to go ahead and make them black for black gloves. For the hips, you just want to make sure that you choose this dark grey, and then for the legs, what you want to do is you want to go to boots, make sure the first color is dark grey to match the hips, and the second color is going to be black for black boots. Nice. Now before we move on into the effects, we of course need to scroll all the way to the top to attachments, and then down here to the fur collar. And for the color, I'm going to go ahead and choose this color right here. Nice. Now then, onto the effects. So with this custom character, I essentially wanted it to feel like you were playing as two characters in one, Larry and the Entity. So you can, if you want to, add the left hand glow and the right hand glow to make it look even more like the Entity is actually coming out of Larry. It's just personally, I decided against it. Instead, what we're going to do is add a hit impact effect. So we're going to go style 1, and for the color, you're of course going to go with black. And you're also going to do the same with the jump slam effect as well. So you're going to turn that on, make sure that you go with style 1, and for the color, you're going to go with black yet again. And this is basically going to act as Larry's attacks. You don't want them to look too powerful, just simple punches and kicks, and when he hits the ground, it just leaves a simple crack in the ground, which is really cool. Now then, onto the abilities. So we don't need to add any abilities to the tag button, but for the jump button, we're going to go to double tap X and add the flight ability. And while we're at it, we'll also add the hyper jump ability on hold X as well. Nice. Now then, onto the square button. So for tap square, we're going to go to bolts, turn that on, make sure that you go with the chest as the bolt origin. For the bolt style, we're going to go with the third one. For the color, you're going to go with this blue right here. And then for the damage type, you're of course going to go with electric bolts. Now then, for hold square, what you want to do is you want to go with a beam, turn that on, make sure that you go with beam style 6. For the damage type, we're going to go with an electric beam. For the color, you're going to go with this blue right here. And then for the origin, you want to make sure that it comes from the chest, because as you can see here, it literally looks like the Entity is forcing energy out of Larry, which I just think looks really, really cool. Now then, for the circle button, I just left tap circle, but on hold circle, you're going to go to explosion attack, turn that on, make sure that you go with explosion style 1, which is this one right here. For the explosion effect, we're going to go with the second one. There we go, that looks really cool. For the damage type, you're going to go with the electric explosion, and then for the color, you're going to go with this blue right here. Because to me, this looks like the Entity is just forcing itself out of Larry. Unfortunately, we can't actually have him fall to the ground when it does that. That would have been amazing. But aside from that, that is still a really cool ability. Now then, onto the skills. So as some of you may know, the Entity that is inside of Larry can actually take possession of both people and objects. So I thought it would be cool if we worked with that with his skills. So we don't need a grapple gun, but I think it makes a lot of sense to add the technology ability, because you could say that the Entity has essentially gone into that technology to unlock it or whatever it needs to do. We don't need acrobatics, but I think mind control makes a lot of sense for the possession of people. So we're going to turn that on and make sure that we go with the same color that we've been going with for the rest of the powers. Nice. Now I don't think we need any of these down here, but we will add Goon Command, because again, possession of people. And finally, what we'll do is add Hazard Protection. Nice. Now then, onto the personality. So for the health icon, you can either go with teal or red. Teal represents the Entity, while red obviously represents Larry. Personally, I'm going to go with red just to add a little bit more Larry to this custom character. For the health type, we're going to go with standard health. For the voice, just choose any male voice. For the speed, go with normal. For the target record, I would highly recommend going with live wires. And then for the animation, then we're of course going to go with cool. Alright, so we've done the appearance, the abilities, the personality, and we don't need any weapons, so now what we need to do is fill in the basic information. So for the status we'll put hero. For the affiliation, unfortunately there isn't one for Doom Patrol, so instead we'll put Teen Titans, since Negative Man actually met them. And then for the name, we're of course going to put Negative Man. Nice. Alright, cool. So now, of course, what we're going to do is drop Negative Man into the hub world and see just what he can do. And here he is. This is, of course, my custom-made Negative Man made in LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's just get a good look at him right here. Now, I think he turned out looking good. I mean, one of the things that I really went back and forth between with this design was whether or not to give him the fur collar. And personally, I just think it makes him look so much more like the TV version of the character. I do wish there was a better body. I would say that Hugo Strange's is perfect, but it has the key card. So aside from that, I think this design turned out looking really cool. Anyway, what can he do? Well, unfortunately, Doom Patrol isn't available in the UK just yet. I'm sure it will be eventually, but for now there's been no official announcement on that. So because of this, I really had to rely on the Titans wiki page to essentially get Larry's powers and abilities right. And personally, I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, I would say that this is the most detailed character that I've ever made in terms of powers and abilities, because I really had to get creative here. I mean, for instance, you know, you've got the simple punch and kick attacks for Larry, which makes a lot of sense, and then obviously you've got the ground pound ability that leaves a crack in the ground, which every character can do. But then we have the entity, and the entity allows Larry to shoot bolts of energy out of his chest like that, which is really cool. And it can also electrify someone if it actually hits them. Come on, Cyborg. Yes, nice one. We actually did it that time. And then we have the beam of energy that comes out of Larry, and I just absolutely love this. It is just so cool. It's like the entity is basically shooting this massive beam of energy out of Larry's chest, and it's just so awesome. Absolutely flippin' love that. And finally, we have the explosion attack. So you hold down circle here, and it electrifies everything in sight. And that is really cool, because it's like the entity is essentially breaking free from Larry's body and wanting to take out whoever is nearby. I need to catch up to that police officer. Come on, see if we can get her. Come on. Really? Is that not going to work? And we can also fly as well, obviously. Wow, okay, she's invincible. Larry has met his match. Oh well. Anyway, let's get to fighting the police as a Negative Man, because obviously this is LEGO DC Supervillains, so there's no crimes to stop, there's crimes to commit. That is this game. Alright, come on, where's the police at? Alright, here we go. Got something good here. Ready for this? Hold down circle. See if it'll reach it. Oh, it did! I did not think that was going to reach that. That's cool. Is it me, or do the police officers look different? Maybe that's just me. That police officer, I don't think I've ever seen that design before. It looks like a very different police officer design. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we've got this beam here. Look at that. Very cool. The great thing is, though, since he can fly, he can also do all of this in the air. So you can, you know, shoot the beam. Not the beam, sorry, the bolts, which, you know, is cool. The bolt is cool, but the beam looks amazing from the air. I mean, look at this. Very cool. Oh, wow, it knocked him back. That was cool. I mean, here's the thing, you know, like I said in the Customiser part of this video, what I wanted to do was essentially make this feel like you were playing as two characters in one. So you've got Larry with the simple punches and kicks, you know, the very human abilities, and then you have the entity, which is just absolutely insane with all these energy-like powers and things. Oh, come on, I wanted to take them all out there, and that would have been amazing. But it makes you think, you know, can you imagine what TT Games could actually do with a real Doom Patrol in this game? I mean, that would be incredible. I honestly think that if TT Games were able to add the Doom Patrol to this game, or, you know, a future LEGO DC game later down the line, which I would say is a very long way away, definitely. I mean, we've got to get another game next, and I have no idea what that's going to be. A lot of people think it's going to be Marvel. Personally, I think it's far too soon for Marvel, but I do think that might be the next game after it. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so when we do eventually get another LEGO DC game in the far future, and I'm sure that will happen, it would be amazing if TT Games could actually add the Doom Patrol. I mean, that would just be so flippin' cool. I mean, I'm just very curious to see how they would do characters like Negative Man and Crazy Jane, because Crazy Jane has all these awesome personalities, and it would be so interesting to see, you know, if you could switch between them at any time. That would be really cool. And then with Larry, you know, you could hold down a button, so you could, like, run around with him as Negative Man, which would be great, you know, and you'd have all the human abilities, and you could fly and everything. But when you hold down, say, circle or triangle or something, the entity would break free from Larry, and he'd essentially sit there like a husk. You know, his body would just be sitting there lifeless, and you could fly around this electrical, you know, being. I mean, that would be incredible. Absolutely would love that. Or they could go, you know, the comic route, and I think it's like black, but with like yellow electrical energy around it, if I remember correctly. So you could do that instead. But if they went with the TV version, then obviously they would go with blue, because that's how it appears in the TV show, I believe. But yeah, I mean, like I said in my Cyborg video, a lot of people, you know, saying, can you make this character and this character? And trust me, I am definitely looking into making every single member of the Doom Patrol, because that is a series that I am so looking forward to watching. Like I said, not available in the UK yet, but I just cannot wait to watch it. I still haven't even watched Titans. I really do want to watch Titans, but as soon as Doom Patrol was announced, I was like, I really just want to skip and watch that, because it just looks so up my street. I mean, I just love the whole dysfunctional family with powers thing. I think that dynamic is just so interesting in shows. For a TV show, I think it's better than, you know, you could do a Doom Patrol movie, definitely, but I think it works better with a TV series, because you can really spend time with these characters and watch them grow and evolve. But yes, I am definitely looking into making Crazy Jane and Robot Man and all these characters, so don't you worry. It's just, I don't know when those videos will actually come, and I don't even know if they will come, because, you know, I only like to show these custom characters when I'm happy with the results, so it really depends on if better pieces get added to the custom character with Batman the Animated Series, Shazam Pack 1 and 2, and then obviously Young Justice. I'm sure they will. I'm fairly certain that some great pieces are going to get added with those DLCs, like all of the other DLCs that have been released for this game. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some better pieces for like the head and everything. Because Robot Man, I've made a really cool looking Robot Man. I'm just not happy with the head and everything, so I really need a better head. That's the only thing I'm missing there. Crazy Jane, I'm not sure, you know, there's obviously the different personalities and things, so I'd have to look into that more. But Robot Man is something that I would love to make, because his design turned out great. I just need a better head. That's all I need. And, you know, Elastigirl, I say that she's pretty easy to make, definitely. Yeah, she's a very easy character to make. I mean, you can't turn into a massive blob and everything, even though that would be amazing, but you can at least, you know, use her stretch-like abilities with the ability to grow and shrink and stuff like that. So there's all of that, at least, so that's cool. Anyway, guys, I think that will probably do it for this video. I've kind of showcased everything that Negative Man can do, but this was a very fun character to make, because, you know, I voted, I put a poll up today on the community page on my channel, and basically I said, you know, do you guys want to see a separate custom character for the entity, or do you want Larry to essentially, you know, have those abilities? And you guys voted for this, and I'm really glad you did, because for me, the entity that I made, it just didn't look good enough. I think you could make a really good looking classic version of the entity inside of him, you know, if you were making the classic version of the character, but I'm making the TV series version, and I just thought, no, it just doesn't look good. It just looks like a blue person, and that's not good enough for me. So I'm really glad you guys decided to just have the powers come from Larry, and personally I think that's a lot more creative, and it just looks cool seeing the energy and everything come out of his chest. It really does feel like something's trying to break free from that character, which is awesome. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.